Welcome back, everyone. 7:15 is the time, and the Austin Children's Shelter is going to host a workshop today. They're talking about a difficult subject. It's child sex trafficking. The group is looking into why foster care kids are at higher risk here. This comes just a week after Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton launched a new human trafficking unit. It's going to focus on investigating and prosecuting cases and also training for people to recognize the signs of human trafficking. And as we mentioned, it's a difficult subject to talk about, but it's a very important one to stress. And that's why we're going to dive deep into this issue here. So joining us is Brooke Crowder. She's the executive director of the Refuge. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about how big of a problem this is, not only here in Central Texas, but I think, unfortunately, all over the country.
It is a large problem, and it's a growing crime. The numbers, it's hard to really come up with good statistics because this is a crime that is hidden. But it's estimated that there are approximately 100,000 children in the United States, U.S.-born children, that are trafficked for sex every year in our country.
And what does that mean? Does that mean that they run away from home, that they meet somebody online, and that they are tricked into selling their bodies? What does this mean?
All of the above. So the common denominator among children that are at risk is their age. Children who are young, 11, 12, 12 is the average age of a child that is lured into sex trafficking.
Oh, wow.
And so any 12-year-old is not able to really understand what's happening until they're in the midst of this horrible crime. So it is runaways, high-risk teens, but it could also be my daughter who, just unbeknownst to her, is befriending someone that actually has ill intent.
On social media.
Correct.
Which
or
is so
in the
easy.
mall. Traffickers are out there looking for our children.
Oh boy. Okay, so what are you doing in Bastrop to combat the problem and to help these victims who are coming to you?
Yeah, well, we're building the Refuge Ranch on 50 acres outside of Austin in Bastrop County. And once we're open, it's going to be a place where child survivors can come and get all the services that they need to heal. We'll be a long-term residential facility, but we are building this in conjunction with the entire Austin community. It's a community effort because it's such a complex issue. It requires a complex response, and so the University of Texas is building a charter school on our property.
Wow.
Premier Family Physicians is helping us develop our medical clinic. We are working with all different partners in our community to provide the services a child will need to heal.
Kind of walk me through this. When you find out that you have somebody who is a victim of sex trafficking, how do they end up at this facility? How do they work their way into putting their lives back together?
That's a great question. And right now there is no one protocol. So when a child is identified as a victim, a lot of times what happens is they're actually put into juvenile detention.
Oh.
And it's partly because it's one of the only places where they can remain safe from their trafficker. But unfortunately what happens is they actually are treated more like a criminal than they are a victim. And so we're working in our community. There's a bunch of us that are working together, including the Attorney General's office, Austin Police Department, other social service providers, Allies Against Slavery. All of us work together to think about how we can best approach this subject so that it is a victim-centered, child-centered approach as opposed to a punitive approach.
Wow. Brooke, people who are watching right now, what can we do? What can moms like myself do with kids to make sure that we help not only the refuge out, but also this major problem here?
Well, I think it is important to realize this happens here in our community. And it's important that our children understand the warning signs. And then to find out more about the Refuge, you can go to our website, which is therefugeaustin.org. And there are volunteer opportunities and ways that people can respond to this issue right here in our community.
Perfect. We will link that to our website, kxan.com. You'll also find in-depth investigations into sex trafficking right here in Central Texas. Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for your hard
Likewise.
work.
Thank you.